Hello, crafty friends. This is the Paper Chef here. Welcome to part 2 of my Cheerful Basket workshop series. In this series, we work with the Cheerful Basket bundle, which includes the stamp set and dies. It's a photopolymer stamp set. And we create really fun baskets of crafty goodness, baskets of apples, baskets of hearts, and even little kitty in the basket. So there's lots of fun going on in this series. And this Friday night, I'm actually having a virtual bingo featuring this series. So all of you should be getting your kits in the mail. Speaking of kits in the mail, you should also have your kits for this series. So today we're going to create this really fun and easy card. We're going to be stamping with the Poppy Parade blends. We're going to stamp with we're going to also use a little bit of crumb cake for stamping and blending. And we're going to use the Granny Apple Green blends for the leaves. So we're going to be doing some blending. Now, I'm not going to have us cut these. I've already cut these, but I'll be giving you the measurements for these pieces for the card. So we'll mostly focus on the technique of blending today. And let's go ahead and do the stamping and the die cutting first so that these little apples will look better by the end of the video, because what happens is the colors sort of ooze together when you have alcohol markers. All right, so Cheerful Basket is on page 35 of the annual catalog. And here is what the stamp set looks like close up. So it's just a lot of fun. So these are all the things we're working on. We're going to put the little kitty on a bag in this series, and it's my November series. Now, speaking of the annual catalog, when you go to my website right now, there is a seasonal sale going on. And I just posted that on the same page. I posted on my Facebook page. I'll be posting it some more, and I'll be sending it out in my newsletter. If you're not already part of my newsletter, you get coupons for my courses and things. I do have a current course right now going on that I just launched. And there's a coupon for that card making course, it's like November 15th best or something, November 15th best. Anyway, I think that's the coupon code, maybe NOV, maybe like NOV 15 best. But check out the coupon code in the description, because you can use that coupon code for any of my ScanNCut courses as well. But that one's only good till this morning. And later on in this month, I will do another set of coupons at the end of the month. Just grabbing those sandwich plates. Now, and at the end of the month, you'll if you're in this newsletter, if you subscribe to newsletter, you'll get those coupons, the coupon codes. Okay, so I'm going to die cut. I'm going to put down plate number 1, plate number 2, okay, plate number 3, and then we're gonna put our stamped image on here like that, and then we'll put a plate number 4. So let's go ahead and another plate number 3. So let's go ahead and stamp, and that's gonna stamp our image. I have a lot of, look, there's a little pearl on there. Lots of things sticking around. Let's put the pearl up there. So we need just a piece of basic white, some Memento black ink, and then inside you're going to get your Cheerful Basket stamp out, this one with the apples. And we're going to go ahead and mount that onto a stamping block. Got to get rid of there was a lot of shaded spruce on that stamping block, but that's okay. We're going to mount that on. So go ahead and put that down, flat side up. We're going to go ahead and mount that on. Okay, so let's go ahead and stamp the apples. Tap, tap, tap on there, and always stamp it onto your mat first. You're stamping your grid paper. We sell grid paper, which is great for stamping on, for protecting your table too. All right, so good. Oh, look, I already got ink blotches everywhere. Yes, that is me. That is how I roll. All right, so let's go ahead and stamp those a couple times. Leave enough space for your die as well when you stamp. Okay, we can do the basket there later. Well, actually, I already have the baskets done, but we might do that part with you. Just depends on the time, because I do, on Tuesdays, I do weekly updates with my team, and I want to see how long this goes. And I'm also planning on doing part 2 of Swaps and Swags. So if you missed part 1 of Swaps and Swags, it was a blast. I'm showing the swaps from the on-stage event I went to in Jacksonville, and I think it's going to end up being like 4 parts. Looking for the lid that I just had. Oh, that is the lid. Let's go ahead and put that there. So I'm showing the cards, and I have a lot of things to show. So I think I'm going to be doing like 4 videos today. I mean, I have my team updates. That's in Facebook. I have my... No, 3 videos. I mean, I have this tutorial, and I'm going to be doing probably a Swaps and Swag. Okay, so what I did is I cut kind of close. I wanted the die to go a little bit more down at the bottom, and I don't want much white space around it. In fact, I even colored in the white space with crumb cake just to get rid of the white space. I don't really... You can also trim around it with your scissors. So I didn't want much white showing around the border for this one. Just do it again. See how I'm cutting it close there? Not cutting it close. I'm just putting the die right on top of those leaves. Okay, so that's all for the machine for now. You can actually put it up there. So now just get your silicone mat, and you're going to do some coloring. Put that down there. Oops, we don't need the die. We'll go ahead and do 2 of these. So you're going to take, I'm going to take the dark color, and let's see, zoom in a little bit. There we go. Oh, and now I can see hi better. Hello, everybody. We have Lynn. Yes, I'm really live now. I know, I'm never live this early in the morning. It's because I'm doing updates. It's Tuesday. Tuesday, I'm a morning person. I'm not usually a morning person. Good morning, Debbie. Lynn. It's not the right time. Well, no, there is no certain time. That's why, Lynn. I don't go live at a certain time. I can't be like those super organized YouTubers. I can't say, let's say never say never. It's not that I can't be like them. I just don't like to do things at certain times. Because when my projects are ready and I finish creating them, I go live and show you. It's that simple. If I said I was going to go live on a certain Monday, I might not have a project done, or I might not have the project done that I wanted to show you. And then, so, I mean, creativity strikes at certain times. That's how creativity works. And when I get done and I go, oh, I could create a card like this. I really just wanted to color some apples. That's how this whole card came about. So what I did is I took the dark Poppy Parade blend. Blends come in light and dark pairs. And now I'm taking the light Poppy Parade blend, and I'm just sort of pulling in the color from the dark Poppy Parade outline. So always do your dark colors first. And then I'm just using the bigger brush tip, because there's a brush tip and a fine tip, and I'll show you that again. Anyway, so that's when creativity strikes at certain times. And that is why I don't go live at certain times. Not that I won't ever. If I had like certain kind of if I was just chatting about things. Like in my team, I go live at the same time every week because I'm doing weekly updates. And those are from Stampin' Up! Company. So I'm just kind of coloring that down the bottoms because that's the part that's going to stick out with the, under the basket part. Okay, now let's go ahead and do this again. Anyway, so if I was just talking, I'd go live at certain times. But since I'm not just talking, I'm doing crafting, I have to go live when my projects are ready. All right, we digress. That was Lynn and Ibuela and Adolphe. Good morning. Oh, don't say wet, miserable. Who doesn't like the rain? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so there's your small tips. Oops. Let's use the small tip for this side, right? For the top of the apples, this is the dark Poppy Parade. And then we're going to use the brush tip for the light Poppy Parade. And the reason I'm only doing one set of apples at once is because what happens is this alcohol markers dry real quick. And then you end up with like harsh lines. And so if you don't do too many, it won't dry. These apples also look cute in bunches of when you do different colors. Like the other day, I did the hearts in polished pink and poppy braid, and it looked cute together, so you can alternate. And these ones would look cute with like real red and poppy braid, like alternate colors of apples. Or you can even do granny apple green apples mixed in with your poppy braid apples, right? So you can alternate your colors. You see how I'm doing? So I did the dark blend first, and now I'm taking the light blend, and I'm using the brush tip now, not the fine tip, and I'm just sort of circular motioning. And I do this. This is the technique I do all the time. It just happens to be small apples I'm doing it on, but you're just kind of you're going over those dark colors again as you color in the light colors. And then circular motion. And if you still have harsh lines, you can go like this. Sort of flick your brush in and pull it in on the side like that. Okay, now, so that was the big tip. Now, if we're going to take the granny apple greens, and we're going to take the fine tips, and go ahead and just take both caps off, because it's easier. So that's our light and dark. And I'm just going to now I'm going to do the light, and it doesn't matter which order you're doing it. I'm just doing every other little part of this. So you see how the leaves are broken into little sections? That's how I decide to color the leaves. Instead of trying to blend the leaves, instead I said, let me just color every little section. You know, alternate colors. You'll see what that looks like in a minute. You could just color them in solid and it would still look cute. Oh, and by the way, if you don't have these blends, these are alcohol blends, you can use blender pens. You can use a blending brush. Okay, let's do this dark one now. Just finish all that up. Okay, I want to get rid of some white, and so we're going to probably cut a little bit around this die. Or else I think I'll just color it with crumb cake, it better. So now I'm using dark granny apple green to finish in the leaves. All right, so I think that's good. Oops, a couple little parts missing. Oops. I think I just did that one dark, but that one's supposed to be light. And then the last final touches are going to be Wink of Stella. Oops, I'm really getting in there. Shouldn't have done that one. All right, so now I accidentally colored a couple of them dark. So now what last thing I want to do, actually before Wink of Stella, let's talk about this. So before we do the Wink of Stella, I wanted to tell you about a couple more things. And I did say hello to Pat from Oklahoma. Wait, and I did say hello to Adolph. Oh, pronounce. How was I saying? Oh, wow, I was even close. Aoife. Oh my gosh, I saw some letters in there that I weren't even there. Okay, hello, Aoife. It's Irish. Okay, wow, that is like a long way off that I was with pronouncing your name. But thank you for phonetically spelling it for me. So Lynn is saying she understands about when creativity strikes. Yeah, so do you guys have that too? Let me know. Hello, Bonnie. Good morning. Like, let me know too if creativity just strikes for you at certain times and you're not like really expecting it. And that's when you decide to like make something. All right, so these are going to be, I just want to write this. I'm using one of Janet's pens. DSP. I'm going to do card base. DSP again. I just want to write the measurements in a minute, but let me grab some. So what you want to do is get crumb cake, right? And I'm going to open up the crumb cake, and I just want to now zoom back out. So you take a stamping block. This is going to be the one we use for Inspired by You, the one we use for the sentiment. But I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of ink on it. Put some ink on my blending brush. And so what I want to do is just sort of blend the sides of these, because I don't like all this white harshness. And you could just cut them off too. Like for the bottom basket, we just cut them off. So anyway, just gonna. So creativity always strikes, especially when you do certain things to make it strike. And I'll probably have to do some videos about that. But like, I mean, like, for example, one thing that always makes creativity strike for me is opening up like a new paper pumpkin kit or opening up new supplies. That always makes, I'm just getting a little, that always makes creativity strike for me. I'm just putting a little bit of crumb cake around the edges, you see? Because I don't want all that harsh white part showing up. But I kind of like having a little outline on those. And in the basket, you can just cut it off altogether, the white part, because it's easy to cut around. These, not so much. Okay, we'll do Wink Estella after we glue this to the basket, I think. All right, so that's how that is. Get a little bit of crumb cake around the edges. So now we need, before Wink Estella, this was when I was telling you there's what's called a color lifter. So when I made a couple sections of my leaves too dark, I think. So, or not too dark, but I put a couple. So I can just use the color lifter to sort of make little sections lighter. Again, this helps lift the color off. All right, now we're going to need some baskets, and we need this to, cut out the baskets and we cut around them. So let's do this. Let's stamp in crumb cake. Sorry. I'm trying to find that white piece of, here we go. And we're going to get the basket out. I just want to see how dark my crumb cake is right now. So let's go ahead and stamp over here. Whoa. All right, so we still need these. We're done with these. So we're done with our Poppy Parade and our Granny Apple Green. I'm going to put those off to the side. So now we're going to go crumb cake with the basket. Let's go ahead and try it. Okay, good. Don't worry about how dark the basket is, because we're going to be doing other things to it. So you want to do your basket and crumb cake? I thought I had a bigger piece of paper, but I already lost the paper I did. Okay, so stamp your basket and crumb cake. Okay. Now, instead of die cutting this, we're going to just cut around the edges, or I already have some done, but let's just say, I just want to show you how it works. Okay, so you're going to take your ink. Okay, you're going to put your ink on I always put ink on stamping blocks when I do this. Put the ink, and then you're going to kind of tap off with the blob of crumb cake, right? And then you're going to just do this. Just sort of go around and color in your basket. Don't worry if you color the whole paper, it doesn't really matter. Something like that, okay? I'm just trying to show you how I colored my baskets. Let's look at how dark they are. That's about right so far. Okay, good. Let's move that to the side. This is very simple technique, by the way, what I'm showing you. Okay, tap your blob of ink off and just start coloring your basket. Okay. Now you have the back colored. It's stamped in crumb cake. It's not stamped in black. It's stamped in crumb cake. So, but you want to still make it defined. You still want to define it a little. So let's take your dark crumb cake and do the top part. So dark one, let's just go ahead and use the brush tip, or the fine tip for the handle. Like that. Not the brush tip, because the handle's small. So go ahead and do the handle first, because we try to do our dark parts first. And whenever we're coloring, because then the light parts, you can kind of go right over the top of them and they don't matter. All right, so our handle of our basket's done. That's the only time you need your dark crumb cake. Well, unless we color the kitty. I do expect you to have crumb cake blends or something brown, something to color your kitty. And now we're going to use the brush tip to just sort of go right over the whole thing. Don't worry if you color outside the lines, because look at my nib's been jacked up. So I have to use another. And there's a seasonal sale going on, so if I order, maybe I could order myself a new crumb cake. So what I'm doing is I'm just using the thick side. I'm just sort of going over. I'm just doing the middle parts. Like that. And don't worry if you cut outside the line, because you're going to cut. These are the only scissors I have near me, so let's just use these. I think I got these ones in Germany. Pretty cool. They're big ones. They're not like my little snips, but My little snips are not hanging about right now. I don't know where they are. I don't know where anything is really because I went to On Stage in Jacksonville and I brought crafts with me because the one day we had what's called a pre-party, and I'll be showing the cards today of what I created at the pre-party. Created 8 cards, so we needed our stamping supplies. Haven't unpacked them yet. All right, so this basket's so easy to cut. You don't need a die. Plus, because you see how I was coloring outside the lines when I was making this whole thing because of the way I was using the brushes. So you definitely want to cut off the edges because the edges are a mess, right? There you go. So that's something like that. And now you have a basket. Okay? Let's see. This one looks like it was stamped in another color. All right. Soft suede, perhaps? Okay. It was a little bit darker than I thought, but it still wasn't black. But you get the idea. Let's close this one. And now we're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment. Inspired by you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Debbie's congratulating me on my accomplishments. I did get to walk across the stage a bunch of times, which was very cool. On stage, they recognized us for sales and team building and leadership. And do you see what I'm doing? I'm just using the Inspired by You stamp with some shaded spruce. Oops, I should have done the crushed curry first. Hold on. Never stamp your sentiment on before you do your little dauber. Now you all got a dauber in your kit. Those of you that purchased the kit from me are in for a surprise of lots of crafty goodness in your kits. So let's go ahead and put a little bit of this crushed curry on the end of any stamping block, see? And just kind of put that on your little dauber so it's not too much of a thick blob. If you put your dauber right into the ink, you're going to have a thick blob of ink. What I'm doing is I'm putting a little crushed curry around the edge of this. So where did I get this die from? This one here that I'm showing you is not part of, you have it in your kit. If you're one of my kit members, you order the kits from me. I always do workshop kits, and there's so many extra things in them, and they take me so long. They're like a total labor of love, and I even had like 2 friends helping me with kits this month. I mean, one friend helped with the kits. The other friend was moral support. There for moral support, but she was doing her own. No, she even cut some too. She even cut some of these dies for me. So anyway, I digress. You have some of these pieces die cut from 3 different die sets. So now, Inspired by You is what I'm putting on this one. This is part of the Cheerful. It's a great sentiment. You can put on any card. Okay, and I also did one. Let me see. I did one a little bit longer so we could try that with a card. Sure. And it was said, you fill my day with happiness or something. We could try that too. So kits are a labor of love, and they're really, really good value because I gave you all kinds of really cool designer series papers, including, even though you only needed a few for these cards, I gave you like 12 sheets of this Celebrate Everything paper. And I gave you 12 sheets of the Design a Daydream, even though we're only using a couple sheets, so you're going to have so many extra supplies. All right, let's do this. We need a little bit of glue. Okay, so you put a little bit of glue like this. We'll do the Wink of Stella still. We're still doing that across that, like that. Very fine line of glue. Then you're going to go move the little center, and you're going to put your little basket right on top of your apples to hide the bottom of the bunch. And you're on a silicone mat, so it should come right up. It shouldn't stick to the mat. Oh, is that cute or what? Our little basket of apples. Okay, so that's that, and let's do, well, we have more baskets, but we'll do that later. That was just an extra one. Let's do the Wink of Stella. I haven't done the Wink of Stella on this one yet either. All righty. I had it right here. It was just laying, there it is. It's over here. So what you want to do now, let me zoom in a little bit, is put the little shiny, make your apples shine. I'm zooming in, and you just want to go over all the apples with your Wink of Stella, and the leaves too. Not the basket itself, because that one's, you want the basket to be kind of rustic. So you're just coloring in the apples. I mean, unless you want to color in your basket, there's really no right or wrong way to do this. And just so you know how I'm doing this series, I'm doing like I did the hearts, then I did the apples, and now I think next we're gonna do the kitty, and then I'll do this the ones where we blend a lot of the little crafty tools. So I'm gonna go through all the stamps in the set, and so by the end of this series, we'll have used all the sets. The butterfly, we'll even use the little butterfly stamp. Okay, so there you go. Now you see how I used the crumb cake around these so that these little white parts wouldn't be very harsh. I like having white parts so you could see there, but I didn't want it to be too harsh. Okay, so the baskets are done. And thank you, Bonnie. Yeah, Kathy's here, and she's saying that the apples look so great when colored with the blends. And Kathy was at the event with me and was one of the people helping me finish my swaps and kits. So thank you, Kathy. And somebody swapped with her, one of these. Which was pretty cool. They swapped these baskets with her. Something from Cheerful Basket. All right, now I already forgot the measurements. I had it, but now I'm going to write it down for you. Well, I know these measurements. These measurements are for the card base you want, right? It's going to be like scored like that. It's going to be one of these vertical cards. So you're going to open it up and it's going to be, and I didn't put the white in the inside yet. So it's going to be 11 inches, right? And then it's going to be times 4 1/4 inches. Like that, right? 4 1/4. And then you score at 5 1/2 inches. Okay, the first DSP layer is easy. It's the same as I always do for DSP, 5 1/4 times 4 inches. And the second one, I'm going to measure. I forgot which one I did for this. So we're going to go 3, we're going to say, 2.75 by 4. So 4 by 2 3/4. 4 inches by, so you have these are rectangles like that. And that's a smaller one. I'm just doing it visual. 2 3/4. So there's your measurements. You don't have to cut those. We already did that part. Let's get some Seal Plus. I didn't even pop the apple up this time. I put the apple straight down. So right on there. Oh, by the way, this is the back of the Celebrate Everything is just amazing paper. Absolutely love it. Okay, we're going to see. These little fall patterns, the reason I made this much smaller is so you could see these cute little fall patterns in there. And I want to also explain how I'm tying in all the colors from this paper too. Oops, that looks a little crooked. Oh well. Oops, I forgot my my ribbon. So it's a good thing I didn't seal it all the way down. So now, and it's a little crooked, but you know what? Homemade card, right? We're all happy. All right, it's not too crooked. So you're going to go in and get a little ribbon behind there. So get the ribbon from your kit. There you go. And just see, I put adhesive behind the paper. Now you can go ahead and tie a bow. This is the black and white striped gingham ribbon. And just tie like a knot before you tie your bow, because otherwise your bow will come undone. Okay, so tie. Ooh, that was a little tight. Oh, that's a little loose. It's like, my porridge is too hot. My porridge is too cold. My porridge is just right. All right, there we go. Take a little, I know I don't do the best bows, but we are making a cute bow for our basket. So somewhere along the bottom, put that. And then, try to get the bows to flip the right way. But if they don't, it's all good. I made my other bow much smaller. Don't cut the ends off until you pull the bows as small as you want them. Cut that at a little angle. And then, so my little trick for getting the bows to go straight is later on, I can go turn around and do this and put little glue dots. I put little glue dots under the bottom parts like that. So that's my trick for getting your bow to stay straight on a card. Yeah, I didn't use dimensionals for that part, so let's put this part on before the apple. So we're just going to put that part on the card. A little bit of, right onto the poppy braid. I hope the measurements, you can see the measurements here. Put that off to the side so you can see the measurements. Moving that mat. So you have this 1/4 inch margin around there. This paper can be used for so many things. This Celebrate Everything paper, all season paper. I'm going to use this one because it's the same color as this other basket, as opposed to the new crumb cake one that was really light that I just stamped. So we're going to use the one from before. But stick that right under there. And see, when you use alcohol blends, they do go right through. I'm not popping this one up because I felt like the ribbon already made this so bulky as it was. Slip your little basket under there. And it was down as far as you want. So now, wherever you want to put your basket. Now I'm going to put the little Inspired by You up there. And I think I could even add a little butterfly to this one. I don't think that would look cute bad either, but I added some pearls that came in your kit. That I think I popped up. Yeah, I did pop up Inspired by You with dimensionals. I will use a dimensional and a half, a partial dimensional and a full one. So like that. Okay, hang it over the side a little, so it's over the side of your Granny Apple Green. Then you need some pearls. You have different pearls in your kit. So, like for example, in your kits, you had some of this ribbon, right? You had a bunch of samples of ribbon. You had your sponge dauber and your linen thread, which we'll be using. So you have these things in your kit. And you also have some embellishments, but not this same. You have a different kind of pearl called, let's see what kind of pearl that, what did I say? Iridescent pearl basic jewels, but same difference. I'm just using the regular pearls because I think I put the other ones in the kits. Now, not many people purchase kits this month, so I do have some extra little embellishments, but I'm not offering them again until next month. I might say, hey, there's leftover kits from this month when I do next month, but that's it. I'm not going to do them all throughout the month or anything like that. I have to just do things after I take orders. So that's it. So add 3 pearls, right? 1, 2, 3. Add 3 embellishments. I'll give you those measurements there. And that's all. And it's a very simple card. Now, this paper is pretty darn awesome. And you get it when you spend $150 is when you're allowed to get it. Then you could pay the $3 difference I think I better write this down. All right, so today there's a seasonal sale. There's a seasonal sale, and in the seasonal sale, you can get 10% off punches. I just want to tell you about sale versus rewards. Rewards I'm going to put over here. You could save 10% off punches. I don't know. I think it's 15% off stamp, and maybe some dies or something. 15% off stamps. 20% off DSP. Okay, not all DSP. This is stuff from the annual catalog. So it's a seasonal sale. Now, rewards are 10% of your order. Stuff that's in addition to that. So if you spend $150 or more at my store, right? Then you get 10% rewards. So, for example, if you spend $150, you'd get $15 of free, just say free stuff, right? And then one of the things you can get with your free stuff is this paper. But this paper is $18. And the really cool thing about this paper is it comes in a pack of 48. So it's like getting 4 packs of paper at once. So I'm going to flip through it. And I just want to show you the cards from part 1 of my series, and then I'm going to head out. But, okay, so this paper is pretty cool, right? It has all these really cool, Celebrate Everything. It means it has patterns from different seasons. And it has so many coordinated colors, like the ones we used, crushed curry. I'll tie that in, right? Just want to point that out again. See how crushed curry was tied in there? Granny Apple Green. Look at the colors in the back of this paper. Shaded Spruce. Look how I used it. I used it on the sentiment. Granny Apple Green. I used it on this piece. Poppy Parade. I used it on the apples. Crushed Curry. I used it around the sentiment. Right? So you can see how the colors from this paper are tied in to the projects we make. And you can see how there's different seasons. You have Christmassy and you have Fourth, you could do the New Year's cards with this fireworks. There's more. There's all these really cool patterns. Halloween, just great, great patterns. So you get 48 sheets, but the paper costs $18. So you could either have a $180 order and get the paper free because you would have 18 in rewards and you could get the Celebrate Everything paper, or just trying to explain this because everyone keeps asking me, how do you get this paper? Or you can just have a $150 order, get 15 in free stuff, and then pick this as your paper. Pick it, and then you pay the $3 difference. Stampin' Up! Lets you pay the $3 difference. All right. So you can pay, it's called overage. You pay the extra $3. Now, let's show you what I made in part 1. Something else to do with the apples. So here's something else you could do with the apples. In your kit, I gave you this little box. These are called little treat boxes, and you have this in your kit. So you can go ahead and make a box with your apples if you don't want to make a card with your apples. Make yourself a little, sending some Get Well Cheer as part of that, the sentiments we used. We've only used 2 of these. We've used Inspired by You. That You Fill My Day with Happiness. I made some of those banners, so I thought I was going to try those on my apples, so I'll show you that next time. Sending You Get Well Cheer. There's only 3 sentiments in this one. But, of course, use whatever sentiments you want with your stamp set. Okay, but last time we used the hearts. And lots of Wink of Stella, and I told you I accidentally used my white Wink of Stella brush, and I got these really light color. So I didn't mean to make them that light, but that's what we did. That's what it looks like when you take the basket and you stamp it in black. So look at the difference between stamping it in black, coloring it with Stampin' Blends, Crumb Cake Blends, dark. That was dark on these lines and light on those. And just stamping it light with Crumb Cake and then coloring it with blends. So there's a difference in the way baskets look. And we also use Celebrate Everything for those cards as well. So that's what we made in part 1. So check that out if you missed it. And we're going to be doing some 3D items in part 3. All right. Thank you, John, for your comment. And Terry, thank you and hello. Thank you, Debbie. And Bonnie for sharing the video. And Kathy. Okay, well, that's all for now. This is the Paper Chef. Have a great day. We'll see you again real soon.